All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Before we get into today's video, first off, Happy New Year. Thank you for all the love this past year. Hopefully we'll get to 10K here shortly into 2022. But before we go into today's video, if you enjoy, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I want to talk today about a player named Brandon Goodwin, who just was literally, I think, 24 hours ago, maybe exactly, was signed by the Cleveland Cavaliers on the hardship exception. Now, Brandon is 26 years old, so he's not too old, he's not too young, and I think that genuinely, the Cleveland Cavaliers, if they continue to give him opportunities like they did last night, which we'll talk about in just 1 second, you might actually have something here. You might actually have something here. Last night, against the Atlanta Hawks in a very, very tough loss, granted, I was gonna make a recap on it, but I figured that was a tough loss. So Brandon Goodwin in his first game this season went 13 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists on 6 of 9 shooting, 0-1 from downtown, and a +11 plus minus, which was the best on the entire Cleveland Cavaliers team. And it honestly wasn't even close. The next highest plus minus was +3 with Isaac Okoro. So I did some research on Brandon Goodwin because I'm watching last night's game and I'm like, I have no idea who this guy is. And the whole reason that I'm really looking into this is because of the Ricky Rubio situation. To fill a void such as Ricky Rubio is going to be really tough. It's going to be really tough. But Rajon Rondo and Brandon Goodwin, you might have something. You might have something there. Ricky Rubio was a guy who went like 13, 4, and 6 this season. It's hard to replace that, man. It's really hard to replace that, and I'll probably make a whole video for Rajon Rondo and why I actually like that signing. If you guys want to see that, be sure to hit that like button. Once we get this video to 50 likes, I'll post that video. But I mean, you're going with Pangos right now. I don't think, I don't feel comfortable with him necessarily being like a suitable long-term solution just as his own. So it looks as if the Cavaliers should have, they have enough guard depth, but they should be able to at least like make something happen, between Kevin, between Brandon, and between Rajon. They should be able to have something cook. So did some research on my man Brandon Goodwin, and so he spent the first chunk of this season in the New York Knicks G League affiliate, where he actually went off for 15 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and almost 2 steals per game. So really good stats right there. On his career, he's only like a 5-point per game, 2 assist guy, but averages like 10 minutes per game in his career. He's been in the league for 3 years. What was really interesting with Brandon was that he went to 2 different colleges. He went to UCF and then he went to Florida Gulf Coast. And the reason he got kicked out, or the reason he left UCF, seems really stupid. Apparently he took I never saw the word stole, but apparently he took a bike from the campus. I'm imagining, like, I go to Loyola Chicago, so I'm just imagining, like, in Chicago we have like, I don't know, like the things you paid, $2 for a bike, and you have access to that bike wherever you want to go or whatever. Whenever I see one of those that's off the rack, I drive that to wherever the hell I'm going because it's a free bike. But apparently that was enough to get him kicked out of the school. So he went to Florida Gulf Coast University, where he actually in his senior season went 19, 5, and 5, and a steal and a half per game. So I'm looking at these stats, and I'm watching him last night, and I'm like, oh shit. Cleveland's got, I really think Cleveland has something here. The issue with Brandon so far in the NBA, in his NBA career, is that he just hasn't really been given a long-term opportunity. And what I mean by that is teams kind of seem to pick him up on a hardship exception, even right when he came into the league, rookie year, when COVID wasn't even a thing. It seems as if teams just use him for extra depth purposes. But you see the G League stats, you saw the college stats, and then you saw last night's stats, like 13, 4, and 6 in 25 minutes. I don't give a damn who you're playing defensively. That's impressive. What he really showcased to me was his ability to kind of just flip a switch. like I said, it's gonna be really difficult to get Ricky Rubio's value. Like, it's gonna be really hard. But I think I look at a guy like Brandon Goodwin, who seems like he hasn't really been given the proper NBA opportunity, and then you pair that with an experienced veteran point guard like Rajon Rondo, that might be your best case scenario. And then I can't even forget about Kevin Pangos, because he's been solid in the last couple of spot starts, filling in for Darius Garland in the COVID protocols. He's been just fine. I mean, he hasn't, done anything crazy, but he's older as well. He's a Gonzaga boy, and I believe he's like 28. So I don't think Cleveland's as screwed as a lot of people are making it seem. I watched the worst YouTube video I've ever seen yesterday. It was from some Raptors fan, and I apologize, Raptors Nation, because I love Raptors Nation, but this guy, I don't even think he lives in Toronto, but he's a big Raptors fan, and he was making videos. Cavaliers fans think they're so cool because they just beat the depleted Toronto Raptors. It's like, first off, both teams were depleted, and you can't pick who you play on the schedule. And this guy's like, the Cavs ain't shit without LeBron James. I'm just like, this is giving me a headache. So I don't think Cleveland is screwed one bit. Now, they have lost several games in a row right now due to COVID protocols, but hopefully in this next game you have Cedi Osman back and you have Darius Garland back, because you need to get some wins together. You need to start stringing those wins together. You're still 20-16, so you're still okay. You're still going to be fine. But like I said, you need to start pulling those wins together. I really thought that they were going to get it done last night, and then they gave up 40 points to the Atlanta Hawks in the third quarter, and then Mr. Trae Young came ready to play in the fourth quarter. So, not the Cavaliers' best showing, but they're still the third-ranked offense in the NBA, and they're like 16th. They're middle of the pack on offense, and I think just a guy like Brandon Goodwin, someone who's so explosive, not like an Isaiah Thomas, but, I'm thinking of that guy who just comes off the bench. It's going to be a tough, because you're going to have to compete with minutes, but you're not going to play Rajon too many. But you got to compete with Pangos, you got to compete with Rajon. So I'm thinking, 15, 20 minutes, you throw Brandon in there, he's kind of like an X factor. I mean, I kind of view him as an X factor. So I don't know. I might have been the only person who kind of took note of that last night. I highly, highly doubt it. I would imagine there's going to be a bunch of Cavs fans who would agree with this video. But that's it for today, guys. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Once again, Happy New Year to you all. 50 likes on this video, and I'll post a Rajon Rondo Impact Cavaliers video. Peace.